It's post-wedding. I knew it would all go by like a blink of the eye, and it did. It was epic, and I want to share with you some of the highlights. We've received a lot of emails, and I put some stuff on Facebook on my professional page, but I thought, you know, you guys are crafters, just like I'm a crafter, and I thought it would be fun to share some of the stuff we did. So first of all, I want to talk about the wedding invitations. My mom handcrafted all of these. This picture was from an engagement shoot, and what we did was we printed it on a printer, and then she glued all of this on. I love that Adair's grandma made these, but in the olden days, when we got married, there was always a piece of tissue paper on top, right? Well, that was so that the ink wouldn't smear. So I thought, I'm just gonna put tissue paper on top so it looks like, you know, a traditional invitation, and guess what happened? The ink smeared. Oh, it was one of those things where you look at it and you go, do you think they all went out that way? And yes, they did. So if you're gonna craft your own invitation, make sure you put the tissue paper on the inside. But I do think Grandma Dee did a pretty good job. Now, what Adair and Jerry wanted was a DIY wedding. They wanted to make a lot of the things themselves. They didn't want to go buy things off of other sites. And with today's tools, you can do that really easily. Now, the colors that they chose were green and eggplant. The gal who was the stylist for the wedding is actually Wendy Grand's sister. And Wendy, you know, you've seen on thequiltshow.com, she did the phenomenal wedding ribbons, and we were in the place in Colorado, I think Colorado, Manitou is where we're at. But I want to show you Adair's wedding ribbon that she made. It is she pearled the whole thing. And then she included the colors of the wedding in it. I mean, absolutely beautiful. And what we did with this was we folded it up and we tucked it right down her dress, and that way we could display it with the cake after the ceremony was over. The other thing is that in our family, way back in the day, my great-great-grandma made this little hanky, and we've all worn it in our weddings. So I made this little wedding pocket out of silk, and in it, I did it in blue, I did their initials embroidered, and I put a penny in there and put the hanky in there, and we stuffed that down there too. Volume is good for brides, you know that. Now, they were married New Year's Eve at Poppy Ridge in Livermore, California, and our hope was that they could be married outdoors. The day before it was spectacular, the day after it was spectacular, the day of the wedding it was clear, but man, it was cold. So what we did, just in case, was we ordered pashminas online, very inexpensively, and then we put on a little label on it. It says, "To keep you warm and cozy, love, Jerry and Adair," and we tied it on every other chair. Thank goodness we did this because it was cold. Now, the ceremony was conducted by Jerry's very best friend, and so it was very, very personal. He told stories about the kids, and it was not just like a cookie stamp wedding. He was not a minister. He got ordained online, and it was so precious and so wonderful because it was about Jerry and Adair. Oh, William. Sorry, Jerry.
And now, by the power vested in me, by ULC.net, the Universal Life Church, I now pronounce you husband and wife. You may kiss the bride.
Let's see, the other thing we did was using my AccuQuilt cutter die, my grape one, we handcrafted all of the programs. So they're all different. And what we did was we cut it out, and then Sam, Adair's maid of honor, printed all the details on the inside. And as people walked in, we handed these things out. The other thing that was really cool was that for people to find where they were supposed to sit, Leslie has this tree. And she brought this tree in and put all these branches on it, and we hung these place cards of where you would be sitting. Again, using my AccuQuilt die. So last but not least, before we talk about the big day, the day of the wedding, we had Jerry and Adair hold up this card so that when they write their thank yous, they can include the picture. You're probably seeing, I guess last but not least was not that. This was the hit of the century. We had seen this online, and typically they're trees, but I decided to go with the grape motif, and I painted this and I used my die kind of as the template on where to do these. And then we had people thumbprint like that and then sign their name on it. And this will probably hang in Jerry and Adair's bedroom. You'll see in this picture that we're inserting here that we had a little can, that's not the right word, of alcohol wipes, and then a little trash one, and then an instruction sheet on how to do it for best result, and everybody signed it. Now for the wedding itself, there were, well, you know what? I think this is going to be part 2. Stay tuned.